and enjoy time at home. Let me see, am I live? What's going on here? Okay, we are live. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. Welcome, everyone in the chat room thus far. I always appreciate people's attendance, moderators. It can be rough. A lot of childish people like to come into the live streams and cause trouble, just like their mutts. You know, dogs are always looking to start trouble, looking to attack someone. Just so happens their owners are the exact same way. Right? Now, did not really have a subject, but I wanted to sort of interact with the viewers. My most recent live streams have been like live presentations of information, not really a discussion. So I wanted to do more of that today. Now, as many of you know, for a moment, I was not given a copyright strike, but my most recent live stream was removed. And I was livid. I was heated. Primarily because of the reason they gave, that I violated a child safety policy. Of all violations, they hit me with that one. It was unbelievable. Yeah, happy holidays for people who celebrate the holidays. Those who don't, happy whatever to you as well. But I was furious. These people hit me with a child safety policy violation. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what are you talking about? Now, I posted this video in the community section. Now, many of you know, most of you know, that this is only one video out of many. There are several videos like this on YouTube. Several. And they are overtly child endangering. And they encourage people to put their own children at risk. Right? Yes, thank you. We have trolls nonstop in this chat room, right? But this video has, I believe, over 3 million views. 3 million. Now, we've gone over the information from their experts. We're going to go over a little more on this video. Now, for those who have not seen this yet, look at this. This is blood-curdling stuff. Notice how it is within a second, split second, that the child's hands go from being to her side to being in the dog's face. In the dog's face. They also tell you to look for warning signs. One is that the dog will look away, avoid eye contact. These experts tell you that dogs are particularly filled with anxiety. They don't like sudden movements. This child is violating basically every code of conduct laid out by their own experts. By their own experts. Now, this behavior, you know, these dog nuts, they will say that, well, as long as there is adult supervision, then it's okay, right? They all say this. And I'm quite sure that YouTube, their thinking is that, well, there is an adult behind the camera, so there's adult supervision, so this is okay. And I'm telling you, like I've always said, no, it is not okay. This is not secure. Now, imagine a woman or man walking a rope. This is the security, the man's hand. If she falls, he has a hold of her. She can't go anywhere. But as she walks across the rope, this person's hand can sort of allow her to walk the rope by herself. Something goes wrong, don't worry, I got a hold of you. That is not the same situation here. In this situation, if that mutt decides to attack, that baby it's done. It's a victim. There's nothing this adult who is holding a camera can do to stop it. That child is completely at the mercy of that dog. They leave it up to the dog whether or not the child is attacked. So this is criminal. And it is a crime that we have to call out, because it is not being called out by the people who enforce the law. If you know anything about the Constitution, when you see that those who are supposed to enforce the law refuse to do it, the citizens themselves are allowed to do it. And this is breaking the law. And it is infuriating. You know, other animals that are far less intelligent than humans, they do not even give dogs or any other animal the opportunity to attack their young. They don't even give them the opportunity. Yes, this is child abuse. This is child endangerment at the highest level. Now, we saw the example with the deer. This mutt was yards away, wasn't even looking at the deer. I don't even think that dog saw the deer. But the mother deer saw that mutt and ran. It was like a half a block away. That deer ran over there and stomped that worthless mutt out. Continued to stomp that mutt until it stopped moving. That's how serious other creatures that are far less intelligent than humans, that's how they respond to dogs and any other predator. This is an era where humans lead a very unintelligent and disgusting lifestyle. We need to keep that in mind. It is a period of regression. I know a lot of people view it as, you know, we are evolving technologically. Maybe we are. But that does not mean that we are evolving in every other way as well. In many other ways, we are regressing rapidly. Regressing faster, I think, than we are evolving technologically. We cannot be so arrogant as to think that everything about humans today is okay. And it's the way it's supposed to be. It is not. Right? So this is a very weird and disturbing era that we live in, and it is our responsibility to respond accordingly. Right? This is a crusade about pushing the evolution of our species. And that is what makes humans unique, that we even have the capability to evolve ourselves. And it is sad that I have to tell grown people to stop playing with dogs, to stop living with animals. That's sad. But it's mandatory. Humans today don't even see the harm in it. And there are many hazards: a safety hazard, health hazard, relationship hazard, evolutionary hazard. Humans have lost the ability, I don't know if we ever even had it, the ability to respect our own level of evolution. There was a time when we did not know anything about infections. We didn't know anything about parasites. All we knew was when we go around animals, we end up with these weird diseases and infections. So now we have the intelligence. We can pinpoint the parasites, the viruses, the zoonotic diseases. We can categorize them. And we don't act on that gained knowledge whatsoever. Even with all this information and evolution, people still expose themselves to animals as if they are totally unaware of any of this information. Mind-boggling stuff. Like I've talked about several times, 3 out of 4 new diseases come from animals. In my opinion, primarily from mutts. But you would not know that by watching the behavior of these people. They either don't know or they know and don't care. That is a very backwards. See, at the same time, even though you are evolutionary or you have evolved technologically, at the same time you have regressed rapidly in other ways. Because humans don't act on the information. So other creatures, it's to the point where other creatures display greater intelligence than us. Other animals, they will not allow no dog around their young to play with their young. Are you out of your mind? They wouldn't even allow this dog to get this close. They would be territorial right away. But here humans are so stupid as to not even to disregard distance and to allow their babies. This child has to be only what? 1, 2 years old, just recently learned how to walk. This adult has stepped away. It cannot intervene. All it takes is a split second and that child is being mauled. It's trying to tell me this is not child endangerment. This is hard to watch. How are videos like this still up? It's beyond me. Right? So if you research the YouTube policies, you're going to find this stupid video right here. And I watched this video for the first time today. Yeah, dog owners are super spreaders of diseases. Super spreaders. Now, I know from hands-on experience, once I distanced myself from dog owners, refused to go into people's home who own pets, and of course refused to eat them, I've not been sick in years. Whereas before that, I would get sick once, twice a year. So I know from hands-on experience, there is a difference. And illness, in my opinion, is the result of the lifestyle that you lead. Now listen to this.
True or false? Videos of minors in real school fights are allowed on YouTube. What do you think? The answer is false. Content that endangers the emotional and physical well-being of minors is not allowed on YouTube. A minor is someone who's not an adult, which is anyone younger than 18 years old in most countries. If you see content that violates this policy, please report it. If you believe that a child is in danger, you should reach out to your local law enforcement agency to report the situation immediately. Let's look at more examples. A creator uploads a video teaching their child how to ride a dirt bike. The child wears safety equipment appropriately and is well supervised by their parent. Another creator uploads a video featuring a group of minors setting up fireworks without the presence of adults. Do either of these videos violate our community guidelines? Yes, the second video violates the child safety policy. When a child is clearly supervised by an adult, some activities involving risk are allowed as long as those activities don't violate community guidelines. But what about pulling a prank on a kid? Pretending that their family abandoned them? Would that be a violation? To learn that and more, go to the YouTube Help Center.
Now wait a minute.
What do you think? The answer is...
So how does this not qualify? Again, it is up to that dog whether or not that child gets mauled. The parent would not be able to do anything. I would argue that the majority of people who have their kids attacked by dogs, they were watching the interaction between the child or baby and the dog. Many times, I know for a fact, they brought the dog to the child or the child to the dog to introduce them. That is why so many newborns get mauled and killed. Because they view these mutts as members of the family. This anthropomorphism. It is behavior that is unintelligent. It's savage, subhuman, primitive. That should embarrass you. Many people are not embarrassed about it. And that's the challenge we face in this crusade. There's very little you can tell someone who does not value themselves as humans. Got to keep that close in mind too. We're dealing with people who don't value themselves at all. Don't value humanity at all. So these are reckless, self-destructive people. You know, when you have a low value for self, for yourself, you're going to get involved in self-destructive behavior. And that is exactly what is going on here. People who don't mind putting themselves at risk, they also put their children and babies at risk. Now, if they want to put themselves at risk, fine. No, that's not fine. Because if you had a population like here in the United States, 60 million dogs, but only adults were present in the home, that would still be a problem. Because those people would still contract diseases and parasites from these mutts and pass them on to other people. Your lifestyle of being a mutt lover affects everyone in the country because you bring your nastiness to other people. You want to kiss other people. Yes, these things look hideous, man, hideous. And I cringe when people call dogs cute. You know, as someone else pointed out, you know that is 100% brainwashing. There's nothing cute about this ugly, hideous looking monster with its face hanging off of its skull. There's nothing cute about that. That thing is hideous. Hideous. We have to stop accepting this nonsense from these lunatics trying to tell us that these things are cute. They are anything but cute. Every other animal, including rats, are easier on the eyes than these mutants. Right? Do not let these people hit you with that mantra. That is nonsense. But this is disturbing to me. Now, after I watched this video, I went online and I looked up some websites, where they talk about what you can do to prevent your child from being bitten by a dog, right? They want to give advice. So they went to the experts. And I found a couple that stood out, right? I'll leave links after this is uploaded to YouTube. It says children can behave erratically, move in unpredictable ways, and make a host of loud and sudden noises. Is that not what this child was doing? This is the experts telling you this. And they're pointing out these behaviors as being hazardous. In a split second, that child's hand is in that mutt's face. You telling me that's not provoking an attack? And this is not child endangerment? If that dog snaps right now, do you think that adult is in a position to stop it? We're not stupid, right? We have your dog culture under a microscope. It should have been under a microscope long before I created this channel, right? I was infuriated when I read this. Children are at a greater risk because they are at the same level as the dog due to their height. And of course, dogs will interpret anything that's on its same level as its equal. They're more likely to attack a child at its level. This child is almost parallel with this mutt. But this is not child endangerment. This is okay. Oh, this is a perfectly safe situation. Children may behave inappropriately towards dogs by pulling their tails, hair, or ears, or their nasty, sagging face, like this child was doing. So I'm taking information from their own experts. But somehow this don't qualify as child endangerment. Why are videos like this on YouTube? There's no argument here. I'm not here to debate none of you dog nuts. This is child endangerment. This is actually making a mockery of child endangerment. Like, yeah, this child endangerment, so what? Most dog aggression towards children is fear-based, though many dogs will also show aspects of food aggression, possessive aggression, territorial aggression as well. And they point out how the CDC says that there are about 800,000 people who seek medical attention for dog bites each year. We'll come back to that towards the end of this presentation. Dog bites are most prevalent among children between ages 5 and 9, usually boys. Children under 4 years old are most likely bitten on the head or neck. And that would be this child. Definitely under 4 years old. So if that dog decides to attack, that child's head, face, and neck would most likely be mutilated. But this is not child endangerment. It would be different if that dog was in a cage, right? A protective bubble. Something where the child could not stick its hands inside. No, not a cage like this. That way, if the dog decides to attack, it wouldn't be able to reach the child. Right? Just like you do at a zoo. Then you could say, yeah, there is some precaution here. Here there is nothing. Nothing. And they want to use this information from these experts, make sure there's adult supervision, to try to create a loophole around their own child endangerment laws. It's ridiculous. What should children be taught not to do to avoid a dog attack? Man, this is ridiculous. I read this last night and I had a hard time falling asleep. I shouldn't have read it around bedtime because I was so infuriated. Of course, they always talk about what the child does. If the child is attacked, oh, the child must have been doing something. Do not play with dogs that are jumping or acting too unruly. Do not disturb a dog that is eating. Do not touch a dog you don't know without asking permission. Do not touch a dog, blah, blah, blah. And that's all this child was doing. Constantly touching the thing. Going from having her hands to her side to actually pulling on this mutt's face. And this idiotic adult. This brain dead. These people are brain dead. We have to point that out too. Something happened where their intelligence stopped. It just stopped. And it has no way of correcting itself. No matter how dangerous the situation, it never dawns on them that this is a dangerous situation. You don't need a law to tell you that something is child endangerment. But these people, they leave it all up to the experts and they pick and choose what they want to obey from these experts. So they pick and choose adult supervision, but they ignore everything else. Things that we pointed out here. Erratic, sudden movement. Pulling on these mutts. So these people are very selective. They know what they're doing. And it's disgusting. Do not use punishment techniques to make sure the dog does not become fearful. The thing about these predators, really any predators, they are wired to interpret everything as a potential threat. Everything. So even if they appear to tolerate you and what you may be doing to them, they could attack at any moment. Anything can set them off. They are ticking time bombs. You don't keep anything like that in the home, especially around children. If you do, you're guilty. That's child endangerment. Then they went over this ridiculousness. How should dogs be introduced to children? Never leave young children and infants alone with any dog. Is that not what this is? I don't care that the adult is behind the camera. That child is essentially alone with that mutt. Because even if they were in the same room together without the adult, the same results would take place if the dog decided to attack. In the room alone or out here, that dog decides to attack, there's nothing that grown up, that adult, would be able to do to stop it. Muzzle dogs when around children. Listen, if we're talking about a creature that needs to be muzzled, we're talking about something that has no business around children. Guess what? Other animals know that much. All other animals on this planet know that, except you. The so-called most intelligent creatures on the planet. This infuriates me. These people are an insult to my existence as a human. An insult. I'm not going to sit back silently and allow these people to degrade my existence. So these things need muzzles. An adult should closely supervise all introductions between children and dogs. For what? We've already looked at the information that show that most attacks occur when an adult is present. So their presence is irrelevant. Use of a head halter and leash can be helpful. So we're talking about something that's so aggressive and unpredictable and dangerous that you need a leash for safety. You telling me that it's safe to have these things around kids? Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. This article went on, right? It didn't stop there. I mean, when you research these websites where they give you advice on how to prevent dog attacks from dog attacks on kids, these articles are very lengthy. They are very lengthy, and they are usually written by some behavioral expert or some professional or whatever. They are lengthy because of how dangerous and unpredictable these mutts are. If the dog finds the situation stressful or shows unwanted responses, they should calmly, immediately be removed from the situation. Make sure you have good verbal control of your dog. This is another thing. The arrogance of these, it's really an arrogant power trip. Dogs are not robots. These people get off on the belief that they can control the dog's mind. That really infuriates me. These are a bunch of arrogant people who think, oh, I'm a responsible trainer. I know what I'm doing. I can control the dog through training. And when I'm done training, I can expose any and everybody to this dog, and it'll be okay. It's very arrogant and stupid, brainless. Make sure you have good verbal control. Sit down. Come, drop. Have children give known commands to the dog. How is this supposed to prevent dog attacks? It's beyond me. Keep aggressive dogs safely separated from children. This is not an aggressive dog, right? Maybe they're talking about dogs that are throwing a temper tantrum, barking. Well, that's common sense. They have to also be talking about breed. But here, they are getting rid of breed-specific legislation. This looks like a bully breed. And not even bully breeds are regulated. Anybody can purchase them. And if you want to bring your kids around them, you can. That's the world we're living in. That's what we're dealing with. They advise you to use classical conditioning. Another excellent tool for helping dogs become more comfortable around children. The goal is to give the dogs favorite treats whenever children come near. Here we go. Using food. Once again, these are food-obsessed, overgrown rodents to control the mutt's behavior. In this way, the dog will learn to associate children with getting tasty treats. When the dog is well acclimated, children can offer treats to the dogs whenever they approach. Remember to keep the child's safety in mind. Start by exposing the dog to a child that is being carried by an adult. Listen to this. You clearly talking about something that is very dangerous. If you have to go through all of this, and let me tell you, this is only a small portion of this particular article. They are very lengthy. I'll leave a link to these articles. Very lengthy. And when you're saying things like this, you're clearly talking about a very dangerous, unpredictable, unstable creature that has no business around kids. Only allow the child to interact directly with the dog once the dog is showing no signs of fear or aggression. Okay, let's say the mutt isn't showing any signs of fear or aggression, but then decides to get aggressive. How long do you think that would take? They don't have to show any warning signs. Even if they do, even if they show their teeth first, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to intervene before it actually attacks. So this supervision nonsense, it's nonsense. Nothing but propaganda. They will say anything to justify their sick, intimate relationship with these mutants. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that many of these people are intimate, including sexual, with these overgrown rodents. What should children do around unfamiliar dogs? Ask permission to touch unfamiliar dogs. How is that going to help? Let's say the owner gives the child permission. There's no guarantee that mutt won't bite or attack that unfamiliar child. Give the dog a chance to approach, see and sniff them before touching. Look at all the hoops you got to go through. This is obviously not a peaceful creature, right? You have to walk on eggshells. You got to walk a tightrope to avoid being attacked by these predators. Let the dog come to them instead of reaching for the dog. Isn't that exactly what that child was doing? That child was reaching for that dog's face repeatedly. And again, that is only one video out of, I would say, hundreds that you can find here on YouTube. She was reaching for that dog's face repeatedly. But somehow that's not child endangerment. Pet the dog only on the back sides. Right? What part of that mutt's body was that child touching? The mouth. You telling me that's not dangerous? That's not a dangerous situation? Every bit of information that comes out from their experts, it condemns the dog owner. It condemns the entire dog culture as we know it. Speak to them in a calm voice. Back away if the dog looks nervous, moves away, freezes, snarls, growls, or attempts to bite. Again, there's no guarantee you're going to avoid the bite. Especially with babies as young as this girl is, a dog could potentially crush their bones with one bite. That's all it takes is one bite to sever an artery, and that child bleeds to death. What should children do when confronted by an aggressive dog? If an aggressive dog approaches, stand very still and stay quiet like a tree. Think about that. Stand very still and be very quiet like a tree. Was this baby standing still? Far from it. Doing the exact opposite. Somehow this video and hundreds of others are still available on YouTube. They don't even have a warning. Many of you see, even though they restored my video, they put a warning at the beginning. There's no warning for these types of videos where kids are alone. I mean, alone with dogs and actually touching these things. If you're knocked over, roll in a ball and lie still like a rock. Again, listen to this. You know you're dealing with a very dangerous and unstable creature if you have to do all of this. If it knocks you over, oh, there's a good chance it's going to try to maul you. This is nonsense. And again, this is only a small portion of what is on this website. Now, this really infuriated me. What is the take-home message? Dog bites are serious. Dog bites to children are particularly disturbing. We expect our dogs to act like Lassie and our children to enjoy a carefree relationship with dogs. You know, this is another thing. These idiots, they live in this fantasy world where they think they're in a movie. You know, they think they're in a cartoon. They want the mutt to behave the same way they see dogs behaving on cartoons, in movies. These people are so disconnected from reality, and it makes them reckless and a danger to everybody else in the community. CDC reports that injury rates for bites were highest among children 5 to 9. Blah, blah, blah. But they end this: we must also train and socialize our dogs to expect the unpredictable things. This is more of that arrogance, believing that you can control how a dog thinks. These are not robots. You will never be in complete control of a mutt's brain. They know that. They actually admit that in one of these articles. I believe I saved a screenshot of it as well. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So this is a different website. And how to prevent your child being bitten by the family dog. And it's usually the family dog. Between the years of 2003 and 2012, dog bites were the 11th leading cause of non-fatal injury to children. Let me stop there. Now, I don't believe that. I believe it is the number one cause of non-fatal injury to children. Number one. They're the 9th leading cause of injury for children age 5 to 9. Again, I believe it's number one. And for ages 10 to 14, they are the 10th leading cause of injury. 2013 alone, nearly 27,000 reconstructive surgeries were performed for repair injuries caused by dog bites. Of course, half are children. That is a lot. Right? Don't be deceived by these stupid articles. That is a lot, and that's just reconstructive surgery. Now look at this. This is also coming from the experts. This is from an attorney. Dog bites. Look at the title. Is it worth reporting a dog bite incident? It's so prevalent that dog bites are not even reported. There are attorneys who specialize in it. Dog bites are a serious matter, yet many dog bite incidents go unreported. I highly doubt that 1 out of every 2 dog bites are reported. I'd say it's closer to 1 out of every 3 to 4 are reported. I would say the majority are not reported. They say they've seen numerous potential cases go unfiled. They make excuses for the incident taking place. Unbelievable. Now, that's an attorney. This man is a certified animal behavior consultant, Steve Dale. He also says, right, this is a different profession. Since most victims are children and the bites occur most often inside homes, a significant number are never reported. Now, how many people are bitten each year by dogs? They say about 5 million. You multiply that by 3 to 4, you end up with 15 to 20 million. Right? Half of 20 million is 10 million. They claim that falls are the leading cause of injury for children ages 0 to 19. They say about 8,000 children are treated in the United States emergency rooms each day. Each day. 8,000. That's a lot. But think about that. 8,000 times 365 days. 2.9 million. Think about that. 5 million dog bites are reported. Most are unreported. There are far more people and children bitten by dogs. In my opinion, it is the leading cause of non-fatal injuries. And they are doing their best to conceal that fact. I mean, I believe they work diligently to turn a blind eye to the fact that dogs are the biggest threat to child safety. Even the most happy-go-lucky dog can snap under certain circumstances. Circumstances like a child repeatedly reaching up to its face, grabbing its face. Right? Wouldn't that qualify as one of those circumstances? Again, see, this is crime right in front of us. Crime, according to the law. But they've created these loopholes. They're selective about what they want to view as a crime. And basically, the law means nothing. But, like I said, you know the Constitution. When you see those in charge of enforcing the law failing or refusing to do so, you as the citizen have the right to then at least call it out for the crime that it is. But the Constitution tells you you are free to enforce the law yourself. Yourself. Does the dog feel ill, threatened, trapped, frustrated, or frightened? Is he guarding food or toy? These are all reasons a dog will snap. As if we didn't have enough reasons already. So this thing is in pain. We went over the joint issues. You don't know what's wrong with that mutt. It could be okay today and in pain tomorrow. It slips a disc. They're all deformed anyways. You won't know that this thing is in pain until after it has attacked. And it is usually attacking a child. So again, how is this not child endangerment? Dogs have no place in human territory whatsoever. I don't care how normal you think it is for dogs to be around humans. I don't care about this stupid belief that they are man's best friend. They are our worst enemy. Dogs give rapid warning bites to youngsters. Usually a bite to the snout, which is a way of saying knock it off. Again, they're suggesting that it's always the child's fault for being attacked. And even though I've shown several videos on this channel where dogs just run out of nowhere and attack kids. We've seen several videos like that. And these people, they have nothing to say. They go quiet. Right? They never even leave comments on my channel when I point it out and show the videos. Where were these mutts being bothered or violated in these situations. Almost every situation is unprovoked. But if the youngster is a human and not a puppy, that warning bite can do serious damage. Thankfully, there are many experts on dog behavior who provide an abundance of information about how to prevent a child from being bitten by a familiar dog. As if the experts' advice is always adhered to. It's not. It is not. They pick and choose what they want. Their favorite is adult supervision. The child can violate, can play with the dog, and really it's not violating that much. The child, we as humans, when we are kids, we explore our surroundings by touching it, manipulating it, getting an idea of how it functions when it's manipulated. That's not misbehaving. That's how we explore our surroundings. So I'm so sick of this talking point that these kids are misbehaving and harassing the dog. No, you are an idiotic parent who is turning a blind eye to human nature and behavior. You put the child at risk, play Russian roulette with their life, and then blame them when they are attacked. These are criminals. There's no way around it. These people are criminals. Yes, they may have been raised by a person, a dog nut, who is not in their right state of mind. But it's our responsibility when we grow older to recognize the error in certain behaviors, regardless of if you've been raised on it or not. Like with me, I was raised to eat whatever I want to eat. It was difficult, but as I got older, the benefits of eating healthy dawned on me, right? I acquired the information and I had the discipline to change my ways. And now it's nothing. These people would just get rid of these mutts and just tolerate the absence of the dog's presence. They would get used to it. They don't even want to go through that transition. Yeah, noise pollution is another one. And they violate that law all the time. All the time. There was a dog just barking a few minutes ago outside my window. They violate every single law imaginable. There needs to be new laws specifically for the presence of these mutts. Listen to this nonsense. I don't know what to do with these people. These people are mad. Many dogs simply tolerate. Say they start off blaming the child. The dog's tolerating the child. No, the child's doing nothing wrong at all. Y'all gonna stop with that. That is not. It's totally unacceptable. This narrative. Many dogs simply tolerate rather than enjoy handling by children, especially close handling, like hugging and kissing or touching of sensitive areas like the paws, ears, and tail. In some of these situations, you might start seeing a stressed dog respond with snapping, growling, lip lifting, lunging, and or biting. To keep everyone safe, it is important to have controlled supervision. Here we go with this supervision again. Controlled supervised interaction. And this is what I believe the YouTube policy is referencing to when they refuse to remove videos like the one I showed here. They're saying, oh, the experts say all they need is adult supervision. An adult is there, so this is okay. No, it's not. Controlled, supervised interactions between dogs and young children to give dogs their space when needed, and to monitor the dog's body language during interactions to make sure that both the dog and child are having fun. This is more of that arrogance. And I hate this arrogance where people think they can control the mind of a creature, an animal, in this case, a freaking mutant, something that has an abnormal brain. Dogs' brains are not even as efficient as other wild animals on this planet. They are the most unstable of all animals on this earth. And these arrogant, ignorant people believe that they can control it. What do you get out of this? You're so desperate to feel powerful, so power hungry, that you're willing to risk your life and your kids' life to exercise this power trip of yours. These people, there was a time, I believe, when other people in the community would put hands on people who engage in this type of behavior. They see you with a child walking up to a mutt. No, they would handle that situation themselves. There was a time. That time is long gone. Right? We need to revisit that time. I'm not telling anybody to go out here attacking anyone. This needs to be put into the laws. These things should not be allowed in human territory. And if they are spotted in human territory, not only should the police kill them on sight, everyday people should have the right to kill them on sight, just like people have the right to kill a rat on sight, which is an animal, a mammal, and really a rodent, just like dogs. This is very sickening. Here we go. Dogs often tolerate. Dogs tolerate. It's the child harassing the dog. Child is a little devil. Dogs often tolerate particular things for a very long time. Okay, if that's true, then how do we know that that dog in that video wasn't doing exactly that? Tolerating this child pulling on its face for a very long time. They figure just because in a 58-second clip the dog didn't attack, that dog is safe. That a child can do that as long as it wants. Here you have your experts telling you no, that's not true. They can dislike something and tolerate it for a long time. So the number of contradictions I find when I read through and this is another very, very lengthy article. Here I took screenshots, 6, 7, 8 screenshots, and I'm telling you, I don't even think I saved half of the content on this website. It is lengthy because of how unstable and dangerous these mutants are. They have no business around kids whatsoever. For instance, they will allow a veterinarian or their adult owner to touch their paws, but will cease to tolerate it when a child with unpredictable movements does the same thing. A family dog might be perfectly well behaved 99.9% of the time. But then there's that one time he got fed up. See? Fed up. What are they saying? That the dog is being violated. That the child is misbehaving. That really infuriates me. The dog got fed up during a certain interaction, and that's when disaster struck. Even a single reactive bite from a dog can have serious consequences for the child. So it's always better to avoid that scenario. How do you avoid it? You avoid it by not allowing a mutt in your home near your child. That's how you avoid it. You don't avoid it by having some idiot standing there behind the camera. You think just because you're standing there a few feet away that the dog can't do anything. The most you can do is try to pry your child out of that dog's jaws. That's the most you could do if that dog decides to attack. So, it is frustrating to go through the suggestions or advice from the experts and to see the experts warning people against behavior that is normal to them, that they are engaged in constantly. Everything, almost everything, that the experts tell them not to do, it is a culture for these dog lovers to do it. That is very infuriating. Very infuriating. I'm so surprised. Look, I cannot believe that there are not more people like me speaking out against this dog culture, specifically people who've had their kids attacked. A lot of people decided to never own a dog again after the dog attacked their child or something. But you don't hear them. There are very few people out here brave enough or willing to speak out against this culture. We have to eradicate this culture. Humans in general, we demonstrate our lack of value for ourselves in many ways, but some ways are more extreme than others. This is one of the most extreme examples. One of the most extreme. This is just too overt for me. Dogs can be great at avoiding situations, but if they feel trapped with a child clamoring towards them or grabbing them, like that girl was doing, they may feel the need to protect themselves. This is coming from the experts. But YouTube does not think it's necessary to view that video as child endangerment. How could it not be? Now, you probably can't see this writing, and this is from that same website. It says, it may look cute when children climb on top of large dogs, but this is a serious no-no behavior. And how many videos and photos do you see like this? They are all over the place. They're all over the place. When you look at these stupid social media profiles that people create for their dogs, I got to do an entire video on that. You know how much time and energy and thought required to maintain a Instagram for a mutt? And these people upload content every day, every single day. There's nobody who can convince me that if they redirected that time, energy, and thought to their own family rather than a worthless mutt, that it wouldn't enhance the quality of life for their family, which in turn would enhance the quality of life for the entire community. That's why I say these dogs impair the evolution of human beings. It thwarts our intellectual and social development. Many dogs are exceptionally tolerant. How many times are they going to start off a paragraph suggesting that the dog is being violated? I've lost count. Every time they mention anything like that, the dog tolerates something, that they are going to accept, they are saying that the child is misbehaving and violating the mutt. Many dogs are exceptionally tolerant of mishandling by both kids and adults. They show signs of anxiety, yet never get to the point of biting. Well, many of them do, like millions. Other dogs tolerate things they don't enjoy for a period of time. You mean like 58 seconds, like the length of this stupid video? They're basically telling you that that child was in danger. That if that continued on, that dog could snap at any time. But yet, that's not seen as child endangerment. This is a very bizarre, man. This is hard to believe that such a large portion of the population is engaged in this type of behavior, this suicidal, genocidal behavior. Now, you know that people lack value for themselves when they are engaged in genocidal behavior. And that's exactly what this is. And here they go again. But at some point, they have just had enough and they growl or snap. Yeah. Again, what about those dogs that ran out of nowhere and attacked a child? I've lost count on the number of videos I've seen that. Several videos. Just showed one in the most recent live stream. When does this ever happen? I haven't seen it yet. And if a child does go up to a dog to pet it or anything, who taught that child to do that? That child had to have been taught to do that. Because by nature, kids are scared of dogs. They're scared of them. And even if they're not scared, it is you, the idiotic adult, who brought that mutt into the home and exposed them anyways. You should know better. This is sad that I got to talk to adults like this. It makes no sense. Unbelievable. This is common sense. And these people seem to have difficulty grasping common sense. It's unbelievable. Dog behavior experts will tell you that there is always a warning. It's just that most people do not know how to interpret dog body. That's a lie. It is not always a warning. In fact, one trait of pit bulls is that they show no warning. They attack without warning. I showed a video a while ago where a dog snapped and bit a baby. That dog really showed no warning signs. And if there are warning signs, what makes you think these low IQ dog lovers are going to do the research, become familiar with the warning signs, and going to actually spot them? Dog owners tend to be some of the dumbest people on the planet. Many of these nasty people who walk into stores with no mask on, talking loud with rotten teeth, these people are dog owners. Most of these people are dog nuts, walking into these places with no mask. Nasty. You're not going to tell me that these idiots are smart enough to do the research to learn dog body language and to be able to spot it. And even if they could, again, there's no guarantee they'd be able to intervene if the dog decided to attack. So this is absolute madness. Madness. You can do the report, do the Google yourself. You can find several articles where they give advice on how to prevent dog attacks on kids. There are several of them because they don't like to talk about it. But many of them have seen the images, the Google images online of mutilated children. And they are disturbing. They're very disturbing. I mean, they leave a permanent scar on your psyche, at least for me. Like, I couldn't believe what I saw when I first saw and researched mutilated kids. Just, again, ask yourself, what other entity does this to kids? Aside from dog, nothing. Not even an abusive parent leaves kids in the state that dogs leave them in. Abusive parents, they'll spank them, yell at them. They don't rip their flesh from their bone. And this does not qualify as child endangerment? Yes, yes. Nikola Tesla said, walking down the street with a pit bull is like walking down the street with a bow and arrow. Think about it. A bow and arrow. Then pointing it at everyone walking by. That's exactly what it is. And it is totally up to that brainless mutt whether or not someone gets attacked. Because usually, even if that mutt is on a leash, it's strong enough to break free. Even if it's a grown man holding the leash. That's why I say it should be illegal for these things to even exist. You shouldn't even be allowed to own them. Now you can talk about, the level of danger or the threat between large dogs and smaller dogs. But again, like I've said, small dogs, they got to go too. Don't even give them a chance to evolve into bigger dogs. Don't give them the opportunity to maul a newborn, which they have done. There's even been adults who have been mauled and killed by packs of small dogs. Dogs are dogs. They are all overly aggressive. They are more aggressive than any other animal on the planet. If you are walking peacefully and you are spotted by a deer from a distance, you probably won't even know that there was a deer there because it is going to mind its own business. A mutt is going to bark at you. It's going to try to charge at you. You don't find this type of anger in any other animal other than dogs. They are the most aggressive animals on this planet. Please stop with this narrative that they are man's best friend, that they are loving in any way whatsoever. They are the exact opposite. And these people are criminals. Now, I know many of you dog nuts, you come to these live streams and you sit there in silence. And you know I'm telling the truth. You know that you are engaged in criminal, immoral behavior. Why do you continue? Why do you continue? You're weak-minded. When you know the right thing and don't do it, you're weak. How can you be content with that? I don't even know how these people can look themselves in the mirror each day, knowing that they put their kids' life on the line every single day, and they leave it up to this brainless mutant, whether or not they are mauled or not. Unbelievable stuff. So I know a lot of people, they don't give this dog culture as much thought as we do here. And that is part of the problem. We have brains for a reason. Humans are the most intelligent creatures on this planet. Everything deserves to be looked at critically, no matter if you view it as normal or not. You have to measure it against scrutiny. This does not hold up. These things are a safety hazard. Tell me what other creature attacks humans and or kids as often as dogs. No other creature. The health hazard that they pose to humans is deeper than the scientists know. Somebody sent me an email. I forgot what the email. It talked about how parasites are more of a problem for humans than previously known by the experts. But this is happening all the time. Every time we turn around, there is some new study that has been done, and they found out that there is a new disease, that something is more harmful than we previously thought. Dogs, health-wise, are more of a threat to humans than we will ever know. And they will always be a threat. They could very well be the reason behind this current epidemic. I don't trust, these dog lovers at all. I don't trust anybody anymore. I just saw an upload by, I believe it was CBS. They're talking about, vaccines, and I think they said like 19,000 people in the United States died from COVID in a week or something like that. I don't know how true that is, but I do believe that allowing these things to live in your home, deciding to become intimate with them, I believe that contributes to a lot of illnesses. I believe it impairs your immune system so much that you can't fight off a virus. You're going to be totally vulnerable to a virus because your immune system is too busy dealing with the bacteria, the parasites, the germs from these disgusting bottom feeders. Again, I'm speaking from experience. I haven't been sick in years. I've lost count of how many years it's been since I've been sick. And this is just absolute madness. Madness. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if dogs were created in a lab. I'm starting to not believe that they evolved from wolves. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know where these things came from. Were they made in a lab? Are they some type of cross? People having sex with dogs, and the dogs turn around, have sex with each other, and have some deformed offspring? I don't know. But they are mutants. That's undeniable. That's a fact. They are mutants. And they should not exist. Now, if nature would wipe them off the face of the earth, then you shouldn't feel guilty about doing it yourself. People exterminate buildings full of rats all the time. If you allow dogs to live in the wild, they're going to die. It's going to be nature that's going to see to it that they are exterminated. If you are a religious person, it's going to be God who sees to it that they are exterminated. This nonsense about all dogs go to heaven, that is nonsense. Again, if there is a heaven, according to your Bible, they would not be allowed in it. They are always spoken of, exclusively spoken of in a negative way in the Bible, in all religious texts. They associate all negative behavior in humans with dogs, and behavior with dogs. So I don't know, why people, yeah. And these people who are comfortable with kissing dogs, allowing dogs to lick on them. These people should be quarantined. We're hypocrites with this COVID lockdown thing. You know people are inside of their homes allowing dogs to lick all over them. These people should not be allowed to touch other human beings. Shouldn't even be allowed to touch. Should not be allowed in the workspace. Think about it. These nasty, germ-filled people. They go into an office, a confined space. I read one article, one study that explained how people pollute the atmosphere. They leave their dander-infested home with dander all over their body. They go into an office, and that dander goes airborne in the office. You remember that character from Charlie Brown? He always got dirt and stuff and dust flying off him. That's these dog lovers. That is how the dander behaves. Anywhere they go, they come sit in your car, they have contaminated the entire atmosphere. And it's so disgusting. Because of the nature of dander, it says dead skin. And the experts have told you that dead skin is saturated with dog urine and dog feces. So what are you doing? You are covered. Your entire body, your face, your lips, nose, your entire body, hands, is covered with microscopic dander. Covered with dog urine and dog feces and anything else that mutt had on its body. They drink vomit, roll around in vomit. So it's all on your outer body. And then these idiots are inhaling it. So now it's in your respiratory system as well. These people are nasty. People like that should be quarantined. It saturates their entire outer being and their respiratory system. That is what makes you sick. You walk into, I remember specifically, now, I believe I told the story. I walked into this guy's house and his stupid mutt, like as soon as I walk in there, it jumps up, starts wiggling around and comes up to me. It starts sniffing all over me. I remember I left his house. I had gone a long time without being sick. And the day after I left his house, I had a scratchy throat, and that scratchy throat developed into a full-blown like flu. I felt terrible. I was sick for over a week. Had fever, chills, the works. And I knew it was because I went into that nasty home. That was the home where I got out of my car seat after sitting on his sofa, and I had dog hair all on my car seat. His furniture was so covered in dander, it was all over my clothes. And I've only sat in this sofa for a few minutes. And I had contaminated my clothes, contaminated my car seat. And that was just the visible dander. I believe dogs are so toxic to our environment, to us in general, that the experts deliberately refuse to reveal how toxic they truly are, because they know if they told people the truth, a bunch of people would get rid of them. Think about it. You know this goes on. They conceal a lot of information. A lot of research, I believe, they refuse to even do because they know the results will be staggering. Like, we're not even going to research the home of dog owners to find out exactly how many germs, bacteria, and parasites, how filthy it is, how contaminated it is. We're not even going to look into it because we know that it will be too much for dog owners to deal with. So it's like a propaganda campaign. You know, it's like they deliberately keep information away from us that they know would help us if they shared that information. I believe it's so bad that it would scare even the biggest dog lovers into getting rid of their dogs. So, my personal belief, colds, the flu, all of these illnesses, they are primarily the result of our close proximity with animals. Animals in general, primarily dogs, because they are the nastiest, the filthiest. They even, I read an article that said that illnesses in other animals are easier to detect, and they are hardest to detect in dogs because dogs are so tolerant to diseases and parasites, germs, and bacteria. They don't show any signs, but they are contagious as hell. Right? Dogs were never in North. Yeah, someone said dogs were never in North America or South America 400 to 500 years ago. They came from boat created. Yeah. Same with cats. They were not over here either. They were brought over here as well. And that is why the ecosystem over here is damaged. You have a new predator here now, right? Something that the other animals and rodents didn't have to deal with. Now they have to deal with them. And while that may drive some species into extinction, the ones that are not driven into extinction, they now have a higher ability to survive. So it strengthens some species in a way. But ultimately, it harms the ecosystem. And dogs, I would like to know exactly where they come from. I don't know if they came from a lab or what. But it's hard for me to believe that they just evolved from wolves. Okay, where are the dogs that are in the middle stages of evolving from wolves? Just like they say humans come from chimpanzees. Okay, well, where are the humans that are in the middle stages evolving from chimpanzees? And why are there still chimpanzees on the planet? Why would they stop evolving? What stopped it? So I don't buy that. I don't buy that. A lot of these so-called experts today, these people are some arrogant idiots. And they like to sound like they know what they're talking about. So they'll make up their own facts just to sound educated and intelligent. Just to be able to claim some type of field of research. They do it all the time. Just like those idiot archaeologists. They've been busted several times planting fake artifacts in digs. They'll go over here to a desert somewhere in Egypt or somewhere, and they'll dig. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, when everybody's asleep, one of those idiots will bring a fake artifact and plant it there so they can be found the next day. There are so many fake artifacts you would not believe it. Almost all, really virtually all, the ancient Roman and Greek coins are fakes. They're fakes. So many fake statues. I believe I shared some of it already. If not, I'll do it in the next stream. Where they shared the names of people who've been busted trying to push fake. The Piltdown Man, most of you familiar with that, was proven to be a fake. These people, so-called experts, they lie all the time. It's part of their profession to lie. Part of their profession. They don't like to tell you this, but it's part of their profession. But every now and then, I like to reflect on the confessions of these dog nuts themselves. This is an obsession these people have. Fixated with these ugly mutts. I mean, they're obsessed with these things. And many of them admit it. This woman says, I'm obsessed with my dogs. My dogs are like children to me. They are my whole life right now. Think about that. Woman, if that's true, you need help. I want to say that she needs professional help, but these so-called professionals, they are idiots. Idiots themselves. You're better off relying on your own common sense. In this world, common sense does not make money. So if a bunch of mutts, if that's your whole life and you view dogs the same way you view children, you have a problem. You don't need an expert to tell you that. She says, it makes me happy to see the dogs happy. Honestly, I enjoy spending time with my dogs more than people. And you don't think you have a problem? What is it with these people in this? They enjoy the company of dogs more than people. When dogs, you can't even talk to them. You can't get any feedback from them. They can't sympathize with anything you go through. So you have to pretend that they do. How could that possibly be better than dealing with an actual human? That lets you know these people have serious social problems. So they have conversations with these stupid mutts, knowing they know full well dog does not understand what they're saying, but they're going to pretend that the dog does. These people need help. And these types of confessions, they're really reaching out. It's just that, a confession. Reaching out, telling the world, I need help. I'm having problems. I'm over here talking to a dog. I'm over here pretending that a dog is a child. Help. Help. That is what these people are doing. I'm over here cuddled up under a blanket with a dog. You're listening to some very disturbed people here. She says, my dogs are simple creatures. They always want to go walking with me. What are you talking about? Do they have a choice? You put a rope around their neck and lead them outside. Do they have a choice? Again, they pretend that the mutts want to walk with them. And at the same time, drag the mutts outside to walk with them by a rope. Let the rope go, the mutt will run away. Yet it loves to go walking with you. These people constantly lying to themselves, living in a delusion. They always want to go walking with me. They can't, which means they make great listeners. And when you talk to your dog, they actually enjoy the attention. Wow. Wow. You know, these people, they leave me at a loss for words, scratching my head. Yeah, they talk to these things like they're babies. Babies. I mean, and why would you talk to a baby? I mean, you talk to babies, that helps them to learn a language. These people have discussions with these mutts. Yeah, fake friend. What is this about? This is some serious social disorders. And these people need help. You know, if nothing else, you dog nuts listening to this channel, these live streams, you should at least come to that conclusion that you need help. You need help. And you need to stop endangering other people. The presence of these mutts itself is endangering everybody in the society. Not just their safety, their health as well. And we really don't need the noise pollution that comes along with these things. Somebody said the term fur children should have been used if people are still cavemen and still have fur. Yeah, and you know, the lack of respect they have for dogs as dogs proves that they really don't love dogs. It's not love. You can't love something and not have any respect for it. And they have no respect for the fact that dogs are dogs, that they are animals. If they respected that, they would want them to live life like an animal. And that is free. Free. It's unbelievable, man. It's like, what else could we possibly reveal I mean, we're basically putting a mirror up to these people and they still can't see themselves. Animals are designed to be free. If you truly love dogs, you would respect them and say, you know what, this is not right. I cannot have possession. What is this obsession with having control over another living thing? It's very similar to slavery, the mindset behind slavery. Who in the hell you think you are, think you have the right to own people? And the same applies to dogs. In that sense, the Crusaders have more respect for dogs than dog owners. We're telling you, hey, why don't you treat these things like the animals that they are and set them free? You claim that you're of high morals and you love them, and you're going to show it by enslaving them, keeping them trapped in your home. Which is one of the reasons, I believe dogs flip out and have so many problems, because they're in an unnatural environment. They're designed to live out in the wild. Some of these dog attacks, what is it the result of? They're wired to interpret anything as a potential threat, regardless of how long it has known you. Some dogs grow up with brothers or sisters, right? From the time they're puppies. And they grow up and then they have fights. So even though they've known each other their whole life, they grow up and have fight. Any situation can set them off. So if they're going to fight each other, of course, they will bite you, your child, anyone in the home. Right? And we got the statistics to prove it. You're talking about 5 million people every year. You can't look at the fact that there are 60 million dogs and say that that's a small percentage. Because again, that's only 1 year. I shared the information from an article that said that children, over 50% of all children, will be bitten before they turn 13. Before the age of 13, over half of all children in this country will have been bitten by a dog. Nobody can tell me that that is not the leading cause of non-fatal injuries in this country. It absolutely is. That is insane. Insane statistics. And I believe the majority of dogs bite someone at some point in their lifetime. And again, that's all that matters. It does not matter how many dogs bite within 1 year. How many bite within their lifetime? Yeah. And dogs, it's not just the barking that annoys me with dogs. All their squealing and whining and totally unnecessary noises and movements and behaviors. The fact that they are scavengers, mutated, brain dead scavengers, they have this behavior of always looking for food, and it is annoying. So they sniff everything, always sniffing around, looking for something to put in their nasty mouth. And that includes you and your person. They're going to come sniff all over you, sniffing in your pockets, all on your legs. You try to push them away and they continue to force themselves on you because they view you as a source of food, because your idiotic owners feed them. Do you people not understand you're not supposed to feed animals? They're designed to get their own food. But again, these people do not respect. They don't love them and they don't respect them. In a way, you could say that we love and respect dogs more. Of course, I don't. But I am more willing to treat dogs the way they were designed to be treated. They're not designed to live in our home, to interact with humans as if they themselves are humans or any of that. Yeah, all this squealing and squirming around, and that unnecessary movement. They move for no reason at all, always looking around, and every now and then they'll sit still. But usually they're squirming around like a fish out of water. They act like the mutants that they are. You can tell they have a deformed nervous system and brain activity. You know, I believe that is literally one of the behavioral traits of an unstable creature, that they have pointless behavior and movement. They turning around, looking this way, looking that way, looking up, looking down, sniffing around at everything, any and everything. How can you not get annoyed by this? It's beyond me. I don't understand how people can even tolerate these things. Yeah, small dogs, always sniffing for something. And if they like something that they smell, they'll try to nibble at it, try to bite it. And they feel like they have the right to. That guy's dog used to, like, I would put my hands in my pocket when it would come up to me. And it was like nibble on my hand through my pocket. You know, that's so invasive, disrespectful, so inhumane. You can't do that to dogs. All the experts tell you, don't invade a dog's space. Don't just walk up to them and start touching on them. But yet, dogs, that's a rule for them to do for humans, because dogs view humans as stupid creatures. I mean, dogs are dumb themselves, but they're not so dumb as to treat you the way you treat them. No, they won't tolerate you doing to them what they will do to you, because that's the behavior of something that has no respect for you and no respect for your intelligence. When you are eating, what is that stupid mutt doing? It's going to walk up to you, stare at you, stick its ugly, stinking, nasty nose in your food. But yet they tell you never do that to a dog. Don't even get too close to a dog that's eating. That is embarrassing. I'm sorry, that is embarrassing. If you're not embarrassed by that you don't even demonstrate the intelligence of a dog, what's the point of even living? If you're not going to exercise the gifts given to you as a human, what's the point in even living? Do you have no pride at all in being a human? Do you have no pride in what we've accomplished as humans, the intelligence we've displayed on this planet? Far and beyond what any other living creature has demonstrated on this planet. And we know full well that other intelligent species have demonstrated intelligence that we can't even fathom right now. We know for a fact that we as humans, have the capability to display much greater intelligence than we already have. How can you not have any respect for that? Enough respect to say that dogs are beneath us. They're beneath us. They are inferior life forms. They do not deserve to be treated as if they are on our level. All right, it is really incumbent on us to treat them like inferior species. That doesn't mean mistreating them. I'm talking about all animals. They're not human. You don't even see animals dealing with other animals the way humans deal with animals. That's not an expression of our intelligence. It's an expression of our stupidity, reckless behavior. That's the thing about being intelligent. It can work against you if you're not using logic and reason. It has to be reinforced. It has to be able to hold up against scrutiny. What's the result of this behavior? Is the result good or bad? Can the results be prevented? No, they cannot. I don't care how much you train dogs, you're always going to have some that attack. So what do? You remove these creatures from society. if for nothing else, the safety of your young, which is something all living creatures take pride in. They take every step possible to protect their young. They don't even allow other animals within several yards of their young. That's basic intelligence. You don't even demonstrate that, which is sad and pathetic, embarrassing, and you don't even feel sad or embarrassed about it. So there's two problems in one, right? You're a disgrace to your own existence, and you're not even aware of it. So where do we start? It's common sense. That is all this channel is about. Preaching common sense. It's not rocket science what we're talking about here. All dog owners know that a dog can snap at any moment, but yet, here, let's put our 1-year-old in front of the dog. Let's step away and let our 1-year-old pull on the dog's face. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's stupidity on a level I can't even really understand. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be funny. That's on a level I cannot understand. You know, and I've always had this feeling. Like, I've always hated dogs ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was a kid, I've hated dogs. I always hated the way they would just walk up to you and start eating your food. I believe I shared the story where this mutt walked up and started eating a pork chop that I had. Just walked up and started eating it. Man, I'm not even going to share with you what I did to that mutt. And I was only like 5, 6 years old. I hated dogs even back then. Even back then. But it went away. You know, after I dealt with that mutt, I felt a little guilty. You know, I felt a little guilty. It was the propaganda. You know, seeing dogs in commercials, you know, I thought, oh, well, dogs are something that we're not supposed to dislike. So I tolerated dogs for many years. I would pretend to, you know, not mind the presence of a dog when I go into the home of someone. They have a dog, mutt jumps out, start pouncing all on you. I pretend that I'm used to it. I pet their stinking nasty mutt and pretend that I enjoy petting them, which I never did. It wasn't until I started doing the research that I realized we are supposed to hate these things. We're supposed to hate them. And it's nature. There's nothing we can do about it. Again, certain species drive other species into extinction all the time. All the time. Humans are no different. Humans are no different. If an inferior species poses a permanent threat to your young, you remove that species. You remove it from your midst. But today, we are inviting these things into our homes, around our infants. Yeah, dogs will eat anything. Anything. Someone sent me a video where they pulled a rag out of a dog's rectum. I couldn't even, show that on video here. You can go, it's on YouTube. Stupid mutt ate a rag, a washcloth, and they pulled this thing out of that mutt's rectum. How stupid do you have to be? I don't even care if you're an animal. How stupid do you have to be to eat a rag? There's no blood in it, And I think only dogs are dumb enough to do something like that. A rag? And they will eat anything. They will drink anything. Unbelievable. So I'm going to end this here. I guess this was another sort of rant type of video. Already been here 2 hours. I don't know what to do. I don't know what else I can say about these people. But they always provide more material. Many of you notice the material is overwhelming. It's so much content to discuss. You don't know where to start. You don't know where to start. It's like every other day there is a new dog attack or something that's just crazy going on with these dogs. Yeah, they'll drink beer. They'll drink anything. They'll eat anything. That is a creature that should be eliminated for its own good. We talk about how deformed they are and that they basically suffer their whole life. Their whole existence is about suffering constantly. And on top of that, they're so dumb, they'll eat anything. They'll drink anything. They are a danger even to themselves. You don't breed something like that. No, you put it out of its misery. You got to be a maniac, man. You got to be really out of your mind to breed deformed creatures, to actually want them to exist. Think about that. Think about that. You cannot be a person of high morals if you want these deformed creatures to exist. They're going to suffer their whole life. Unbelievable. There's going to be a lot more content in the future about the immorality of this dog culture. We will continue with this merciless crusade against these worthless mutants and their enabling owners.